Hey guys, this is Leo. Your driver is Chris. We are taking out our awesome 65 Pro Touring Chevelle for a little test drive that we want to film for you all to hear and see. A good looking car, good sounding car. Not sure how much the camera will be able to capture. The idea is we're going to drive it for you, give you our feelings about how the car sits and how it drives. And then we're going to stop somewhere where there's a little bit less traffic and noises, so we can walk around the car and go through all its specifications. While we're waiting here for it to turn green, actually just turned green, I just wanted to show you guys oil pressure. Extremely healthy motor at 75 foot-pounds of pressure. Gas is, well, not exactly a lot of it left. Water temperature, car's been running for a while, 200, just right. It's charging. All the gauges work. It's got power windows that Chris can control from over there. That's fine, you don't have to do it. Not while you're driving. And I'm, just so you guys know, I'm 6'4", and I fit just fine in here. Actually, very comfortable ride. Air ride suspension, so you can adjust the height. And wow, it's got some kick too. Nice. I like it. Lee and Chris again. There's so much stuff to be said about the car that we have a little cheat sheet that Chris is holding. Chris, why don't we just go down the sheet and, you know, point out all the features of this car?
Sure. This is, as mentioned earlier, a very extensive, loving 3-year nut and bolt restoration of a great 65 Chevelle Convertible. Modern drivetrain is one of my favorite aspects of this car. It's got a mid-90s era Corvette drivetrain, fuel injected, 5.7 liter, making about 350 horsepower. Great jet hot coated headers in front of a 4-speed 700 R4 Overdrive automatic transmission. Modern aluminum cooling, modern air conditioning, modern 4-wheel disc brakes. Again, modern 4-wheel disc brakes behind staggered 18 and 20-inch billet wheels. Really look great on this car. You can kind of see in there, again, what Leo had alluded to, the powder-coated and painted, highly detailed underside of this car. See, it said before, the quality of the paint, you can see us very clearly.
Yeah, hi. And that's actually red paint, which normally isn't that great at showing reflections, because I mean, if I go here on the black paint, look at that. I mean, he's not the prettiest man alive, but
my wife could do her makeup.
I mean, that's just so you see the reflection, what you're seeing, that is some seriously good paint right there. Very shiny. You know, and black obviously highlights the best of it. You know, the list, you guys can probably see on the website, there's a ton of stuff that's been done to the car. The things that I would say stand out is, A, the adjustable stance. At this point, we lifted the car a little bit just to drive it without, you know, exploring its bottoming out limits. You can adjust it. I think this thing goes up high past where you actually would want it to have, and it goes, we'll show you before we end the video how far down you can slam it. You got shaved door handles, pretty cool. I love the door poppers. So basically you have in the remote, I can actually show you if I grab the keys, here we go. You'll have a little remote here, you press the button and door opens for you. Same thing with the passenger side. I'm not going to do it because it's actually downhill. I don't want the door to open all the way. Custom interior. This is, the door panels look like they might be off of a Ford. Has been, I'm not sure, but they look like they took panels from a modern car and adapted them. You see the little tweeter in there. You see the custom seats, very comfy. I'm 6'4", 220 pounds, and I sat just fine. You get a power top, power brakes, power steering, air conditioning, like we said. In the trunk, a lot of people ask, yeah, but what happens, you know, with no door handles if the battery dies? What do I do? Well, actually, I still have the keys somewhere. I can show you exactly what happens. We labeled it, and it's also a good way to see. Doing this with my left hand is always a mystery. You have this is the kill switch for the compressor. If you don't want the compressor to run for some reason, and that's the compressor that you can use to change the stance of the car. And this is, so you can just kill it. And this is the button that if you run out of battery and you still want to open the door, you can simply open the trunk, press this button, and it opens the door for you. Granted, this is a convertible car, so you know, you'll never have an issue getting in and out of the car. But you know, what you're seeing here is, for lack of a better term, what would you call it, Chris? A motor coffin?
Shroud, or
yeah. That is a custom-made shroud that goes on top of the engine, so that you have the whole theme of the car is continued in the engine bay. We took it off because we think the engine is so pretty that it doesn't really need to be hidden, but you know, it comes with the car. You also see underneath it, you see the windshield wipers, which have been removed currently just to keep a cleaner look. But you know, should you want to put them back, they're right there. Behind this little panel here, there's the battery. It's been removed from the engine bay to keep it, you know, as clean as possible, and also helps with the weight distribution. What else? What are we missing? Good sounding exhaust, good looking chrome, good looking glass, good looking car. I you know, go through the list, but I think we touched pretty much everything. Let me hear it. That is a good sounding car. Not obnoxious, but it has a good growl. Now he's lifting it all the way. So, as I said, that's past where you would ever want to have it. But I don't know, if you want to take it off-roading, I guess that could be a good thing. And the car, you can still kind of drive it when it's that slammed to the ground. Man, it looks good. But I suggest that that's kind of like the way you roll into a show. You shouldn't really drive it when it's that low. You got to lift a couple inches at least to give it a little bit of you know, clearance. And the cool thing is you can actually have presets saved. But as you see, as Chris is operating it, I hope you see the numbers. You can simply kind of like remember that. I think we determined that at about 100.
right around 100 to 105. Yeah. Does a nice job. It's a fully digital system. Nice sensors.
Yeah, that way. And you can actually control every tire separately. So if you wanted to give it, you know, a very aggressive stance, you can drop the front and keep the back up high. Power seats. There's a lot you can do to it. Nobody will ever tell you that you did something wrong for a 65 Chevelle, because this is past being a 65 Chevelle. This is now a highly customized, modified car. And the last thing I'd say is, on my end, the thing I would add is the color. Obviously, not everyone is going to love the way the car has been painted as far as color scheme. It's not a problem. The easiest thing would either be to make all the car black or all the car red, obviously. But if you know, envision this car in, I don't know, a dark blue, white, whatever it is that you like. You know, we build cars from scratch as well, so we are very well versed in modifying anything you might not like. And Chris, you drove the car. What do you think about driving it?
I was surprised. It was very solid, very smooth, great power. Very nice driving car, very well mannered.
Yeah, and surprisingly very comfortable. Air ride is, I would say, hit or miss. Some cars, it really messes with the way the car drives. In this case, at 100, is that PSI?
It was 100 PSI.
100 PSI, it drove beautifully.
When air ride suspension systems were in their infancy, they were known to be very bouncy.
Yeah, it was like a
relatively unreliable.
Yep.
But this is a fully digital system. Very, very upper echelon system.
Cool. And we just heard the electric fan kick in. Another nice little touch. You'll never run hot. And I think that concludes the video. This is a highly customized car. Somebody spent a fortune building this car. You get to own it for a fraction of what just the build would cost. Forget finding a good 65 convertible Chevelle to begin with, which alone would probably, even a project, will run you 15 grand. This is a very, very nice build, sold for a fraction of the cost. If you think you can make room for this car in your life, we most definitely can make it happen.